Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special draft video here on the channel. Today, we are joined by Hall of Famer, Pro Tour champion, and one of the greatest drafters of all time, Ben Stark. Welcome back to the channel.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so Ben, we're going to be talking about Ben, about his thoughts on the format, then we're going to be doing a draft and then playing the games by ourselves. So, starting things off, Ben, what do you think of Final Fantasy Draft, and are you enjoying the format?
I'm enjoying it, but I kind of enjoy every format right when it comes out. It's more whether a format's good or not is more of a question of how long I'll enjoy it. I think it's fine, but I don't expect this to go on to be like an amazing all-time great draft format. It feels a little archetypey for me. I don't know what your experience has been like. I feel like half the commons go in like half the archetypes and not really in the other half, and you're just kind of if you're black green, you're self mill. If you're blue red, you're instants and sorceries that cost 4 or more matter. It feels a little kind of just like each color pair has a synergy, and you just kind of take the cards that support that. But you know the cards are interesting, and you can draft almost any deck. I feel like they did a decent job on the balance. So you know, there's a lot of options, and the games are still pretty fun.
Yeah, for me, I feel that similarly. I think it gets a special bump for me because Tarkir Dragonstorm didn't have really any archetypes. There was like 2 decks you could draft. So this one feels like the variety has gone way up. So you can play 10 different strategies a lot of the time. But it does feel like there's a lot of cards that are very narrow and like only fit into like, as you said, blue-red spells, or especially the graveyard strategies. Like no aggro deck wants 3 mana, 2/3, mill 3, gain 3. But like the other deck's just like, okay, that's like a solid card for you. So it's like some cards only fit into one strategy.
Right, and if pinging them doesn't matter, then no deck wants like that isn't aggro wants 3 mana. Target opponent sacks a creature, you get no one.
Yeah,
So like
exactly.
basically, yeah. So basically, it's like blue black and black green want the mill 3 gain 3, and red black and black white want the sack a creature get an 0/1. And like you can't, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
green black and blue black don't want that the sack a creature get an 0/1.
yeah.
It's like the cards just go in your deck or don't. There's
It,
not like a lot of dynamism there.
yeah, it's funny too because some of the cards are really good if you end up in a particular version of that color. So like you take a good black card, it's going to be good if you end up in an aggro black deck, and then like black is open, but for like a controlling black deck, and you're like, gosh, if only my deck had opened like a certain way, it feels like my deck would have been way better. That's how
So
it
I don't love
goes.
that aspect, but I found the gameplay out to be pretty good. And
Hmm.
overall, like when a format is new, like you're still just experiencing all of the decks. You know, I drafted a decent amount before the Pro Tour, but these days I'm usually a little better prepared for the constructed than the limited. I spend more time tuning my deck. So like, you know, this is just I just got back, you know, it's the week after the Pro Tour. You know, I've done like 30 drafts. So like, you know, I know the format, but it's not like I've done 130, like I haven't experienced every pair 10 times yet, you know.
Hmm. Yeah, I think it's funny because like a lot of people that just play at FNM will play the format like 5 times total the entire course of the format. So 30 drafts is still like, especially with a player like that's actively thinking about things, 30 drafts is like a lot of drafts for some people, but like when you're preparing for a pro tour, everyone's super talented. Your pro tour drafts, you went 4-2 overall. What decks did you draft there?
Yeah, I drafted a blue red. It was a really good, sweet deck. I had 4 of the 1/1 that grows and a bunch of the 4 mana cards that like make creatures but are technically non creatures.
Hmm.
I had Clive, which was super broken.
Yeah.
That card is ridiculous. Like you play it, you draw 3/4 cards. Even if they kill it, you drew 3/4 cards.
Hmm.
And then I had the 5 mana 3/3 gold blue red rare. That one's good, but less good. Like you have to untap with a 5 mana 3/3 to get value out of it.
Yeah.
But if you do a single time and then you cast a forecasting cost non-creature and you draw 2 cards and make a 1/1, that's a pretty big game.
Yeah.
Uh, and then I had a Boros that I think I 3-0'd with that blue red.
Hmm.
Then I had a Boros that I think was quite good. I got pretty unlucky to go 1-2. I lost some close games and I felt like I got pretty unlucky. I had 3 of the gold uncommon, the red white dwarf that rummages.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
had yeah, I had like I can't remember all the cards now. I don't have it in front of me, but it felt like a
Yeah.
really good deck. I had 2 white Orosites, I love that card. Like, to kill a creature and then you get an extra mana. If you're in like a 16 landish aggro deck, which I was, and that land is actually being tapped, the Aura Site is being tapped for mana and it's useful. I mean, to get a 2-for-1 like that, where you get a creature and like a resource, like that's a removal spell for a creature and a resource. Like that's just so valuable.
Yeah.
And I also just had good living equipment. I mean, nothing special, but I had, like all the standard ones, the good ones, like the 3-mana 3/2 ward and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I had the 4-mana deal 2 equipment that you pay 2, it gets +2/+1. I like that card quite a bit. A lot of the equipment's expensive to move around. That thing, you bring it in play, you kill their 2 or 3 drop, and then you pay 2, and you just enhance every creature by +2/+1, and your creatures
Yeah.
are pretty small in red white. I had some more decent cards. Like I said, I don't have it in front of me right now.
Yeah.
I had the rare that is really good for that deck. I mean, obviously, this was my critique of the format. It's that the cards seem like they're just sorted into one deck. It's a rare. It's like whenever you play an equipment, create a copy that's a non-token equipment.
Oh, Furion. Yeah. Furion. It's like a 3-mana 3/3 in red.
Yeah, that card's
Yeah.
obviously ridiculous. Like, you just get to keep an extra 1/1 every time you play, a hero making equipment.
Yeah.
And, like, also, though, the other ability is, like, subtly way better than it looks. Like, you always have equipment out. So, like, if you can just equip a creature when you play it, then it has haste. So if you have one of the cheaper equipment to equip, you just play creatures and equip them and attack with them immediately.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty messed up. Ugh, gosh. Yeah. Yeah.
So I thought that deck was quite good. I was very shocked I went 1-2. I don't think it was really a reflection of the deck. I remember, like, I took mulligans, I lost close matches.
Yeah.
I think that's a deck that should have 2-1 most of the time.
Yeah. You mentioned you played 4 copies of the 1/1 guy that grows in blue red. Is that card a card you like? I don't think I've played it or maybe I played it like one time, even though I've played a bunch of drafts.
Yeah, so I mean, that deck, like, it's like I was saying, every deck is like really focused around its synergy. So like, if you have 6 cards that grow that's an unplayable card. But
Mhm.
like, when you're playing blue red, you should be trying to draft all cards that are like the 4-mana red equipment that makes a hero,
Warrior
and
Sword.
the 4-mana, and the 4-mana sorcery, make a 3/3 with flashback. And like, you're trying to have, like, not 6 but like 16 non-creature spells that cost 4 or more. I mean,
Right.
obviously you don't always get to 16, but like, so if you grow that card on turn 4 and it's a 2/2, you can kill a 2/2 fly or something. If you grow it again on turn 5, like, it's a big deal. Like,
Yeah.
you now cast a 1-mana 3/3, and like,
Yeah.
like on turn 1, we don't expect anything, right? Like, it's fine to play a suspend 3/3 or suspend
Mhm.
4/4. Like, that is never a dead card, because it's not like it's a 2/2 or 3/3, but then it's going to get blanked by their better stuff. You can always just keep growing it. So
Mhm.
like, sometimes if you have a bad draw, sure, you're going to lose before that thing comes fully online. But like, if you have a normal draw, I just think of it as like a 1-mana suspend 3/3 or 4/4. Like, somewhere down the line, I'm just gonna have an extra big creature in play, and I'm gonna have not spent a turn to do it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I hope we get to see it. As we get into the draft here, I need to make sure I'm sharing my screen. That's funny. I totally forgot that I needed to do that.
This is a point that I think I've had to kind of go back and forth with people on for a long time. Is that a lot of these synergy cards like this, they don't work unless you have way more than you think. So like, you can't draft cards like that and have like 6 cards that grow it. But if you've got 12 cards that grow it, some of which have flashback, then the cards really perform. So like, that's my advice to everybody out there, is like, you can kind of take these synergy build around type cards and go hard on them, but make sure you have a lot of support, more than you think you need.
Mm-hmm. Is the screen share working properly?
It says table ready.
Oh, perfect. Excellent. Okay, so diving in now. Ooh, pack 1, pick 1. We have opened Jill, Shiva's Dominant. We've got Gladiolus, Emesitia, Combat Tutorial. There's the King of the Dwarves that you said you had 3 copies of. What cards do you like here?
Well, I mean, the ones you named pretty much. I mean, Jill is pretty busted. Like, that whole cycle of rares that you just pay and flip after they do what they do on the comes into play, they're all like very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, the Gladius would be probably my second choice out of the pack. It's
Hmm.
just more splashable. Like Giat might be better in red white than Gladiolus. I don't know. I can't say names. Is in
Yeah.
red green. But the thing is, like, you can play green anything and cast that card, whereas you have to be exactly red white Boros to play Giat. So, I mean,
Hmm.
I think there's a pretty clear Jill for me. My second
Yeah.
choice would probably be the Gladiolus. How about
Yeah.
you?
I would definitely take Jill first here. I think my second pick, I Gladiolus is interesting. I haven't played red green. That's like the only color combo I haven't played because it is a little bit weaker. It feels like, or at least that's the general consensus. Have you played a lot of red green?
A little bit, not a ton. I
Yeah.
think it is one of the weaker archetypes. I lost to it in the Pro Tour in day two,
Hmm.
and I think you can draft it. But again,
Yeah.
I also feel like with that card, you can just splash it. Like if you're
Yeah.
green black, you're happy to play that card.
Yeah. That makes sense as well. Yeah. It's a nice top end threat. Okay, so we've got Jill. In this pack, to follow it up, there's Eject and Sahagin in blue. There's Torgal, which always feels like really insane to me whenever I play it. And then Titus is blue-white. I mean, yeah, I guess there's a good few options here.
Yeah, I mean, I think eject is better than Sahagin.
Hmm.
So I mean, it's basically just going to be eject or Torgal. I think Torgal is
Yeah.
better than eject for sure. But we first picked a broken blue rare, so we just really have to decide between those two cards, in my opinion.
Yeah. Do you generally like to stick to your like powerful rares when you have the option, or do you like to just stay wide open early on in drafts?
I mean, I know I'm known for staying open. You can do either. I mean, Torgal's probably good enough that you should take it over an eject. Eject is good, but it's nothing special.
Yeah.
I would like to play blue, but let's just say we end up green black. We could still splash Jill or whatever, make it work.
Yeah. Yeah. Jill is an interesting one because the activation is double blue, but it's still a pretty solid effect. You're sometimes splashing blue anyway. And here there's quite a few good cards. Summon Fenrir, Cloud. Um, where are you at on Chocobo Kick? Do you like Chocobo Kick?
Chocobo Kick is fine. This is one of those cards that's clearly designed for red green. Just the fact that you get to pick up a land is supposed to be a positive, so you can play it and trigger your landfall again.
Mm-hmm.
That's like why it's designed that way,
Yeah.
obviously. So I mean, if I'm like a blue green ramp deck, I'm not trying to pick up lands on turn four. But if I'm like a red green birds deck, I am.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't consider that here. I think it's between Fenrir and Cloud of Darkness. Again, Cloud of Darkness is better, but it's a second color. But like we don't really have colors yet, and if we go green, that card's so easy to splash. So I would take Cloud of Darkness. I
Okay.
think I think
Sounds good.
Cloud is substantially better than Fenrir. Fenrir's fine. You get a creature for a turn, you get a 3/2. Sometimes you draw. I mean, you get a land. Sometimes you draw a card. Sometimes you don't. But like Cloud of Darkness is just awesome. Like it just
Yeah.
5 mana 3/2 fly and kill their creature is just
Yeah.
like that. That's everything you could want in
I,
limited.
I played Torgal into Fenrir one time, and Fenrir is another wolf, so that when you play a human, it gives two counters, which
Oh, I didn't
caught
know
me
that.
completely
That's
by
cool.
surprise because it's like the only other wolf in the entire format, and it's just like, wait, why did my creature come in with like two counters on it? It's like because it was the same turn. It was like Torgal into Fenrir into the creature, so it got a counter from Fenrir, a counter from Torgal, and then another counter for having an extra wolf. So kind of funny. Okay, so here there's Call the Mountain Chocobo, Chocobo Kick, Stuck in Summoner Sanctum. Few options.
Yeah, I don't really love any of these cards. We don't have a lot of time, I guess. Maybe just take Chocobo Kick because green seems open.
Yeah, that's fair. Ooh, and then we see Colosseum Behemoth in green, Emperor of Palamacia in blue red, Scorpion Sentinel. Yeah, a few options again.
Yeah, I mean, see, this is the thing about archetype formats, right? Both green and blue red can be open. Probably like some other red combinations aren't open, but blue red probably is. I
Hmm.
mean, at this point, like I don't see how we're leaving green. I mean, our green cards are really good. This
Yeah,
Colosseum Behemoth is excellent. Trample
yeah,
on a big creature is good. Draw a card or kill something. There's a lot of artifacts and enchantments in this format. It's not
yeah.
like a card that makes me want to go green, but it's a card I'm going to happily play in a green ramp deck.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where when you see it pick five, you're like, oh, this is a solid time to pick up a Colosseum Behemoth. It's not like the pack one, pick one, slam it type thing.
Yeah. But we
Yeah,
could also just easily have had a good blue red deck with this Emperor and with the search for the Chocobo Bird search with flashback last pick and
yeah,
eject pick. So
yeah.
it's just it's like which lane are we going to end up in?
Yeah, it's always kind of a tricky thing as well. And sometimes in these formats, because it feels like, oh, because my cards only go in such a narrow deck, there's not a lot of bleed. It's not like, oh, I'm going to play. Like, I guess we could still be a blue green deck that splashes black. We only really know we're green. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, a card like Lock Coal is good, but I think we probably just take another Chocobo Kick here.
Yeah, because we're not going to play blue black. Like you said, we're going to play green blue splash black or green black splash blue or whatever. But you don't want to take splash 3 drops over like good on color cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, like maybe if we're already going to splash, which we are, because we're going to play Jill or Cloud, we're going to play Lock Hole if we get it. But the goal is to keep your splashes down, not to prioritize splash cards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is the Shinra reinforcements we talked about earlier. The card that only fits into these like defensive decks. There's Gone, Town of Ruin. I think that's probably a pretty nice pickup for us.
Well, I mean, I think this is a close pick. I'm not saying I disagree with that. I like the Gone. Maybe I would take it. But I think Farseek is quite good also. That can go get swap and ramp on turn too.
I'll admit I don't always even like register these sorts of cards. Which one would you like to take? We can take Farseek. I'm down.
It's a close pick in my opinion. It is hard to get turn 2 ramp, so I might take Farseek. We don't have too much Towns Matter yet. If we go blue green, we will get a good amount of Towns Matter, and we will like to have 1 green black town or more. I mean, the on-color towns are important and are good, but 2 mana ramp fixing is also just a very impressive card.
Yeah, it's also kind of like same thing as like getting a dual land. If you have heavy green, which it looks like will be, this gets our fixing as well, just like a green black town.
Exactly. So that's a blue source and a black source for us. So that is fixing just like the town, and it lets us ramp on turn 2.
So now we take the town. There's also a Chocobo Racetrack. Have you ever played Chocobo Racetrack?
It's pretty mediocre. Yeah. Like if you're like a ramp deck, you're just not that excited about a couple 2/2s in the late game. Like I'm not saying you can never put it in your deck, but it's not an exciting card.
I had it with Primeval Titan one time off the bonus sheet. That was pretty satisfying.
Yes, that does sound exciting.
It turned it into Grave Titan. This pack. I mean, we wield Giot, which is kind of crazy. I guess other people can't use it anyway.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like they're red, they're just not red, white, or red, blue. They're red, green, or red, black, or whatever. I don't know. Like that's in formats like this, you're really just trying to find the open lane so that you can get all the uncommons like super late.
Yeah. Weapons Vendor is one of those ones that's like super good in like the equipment deck that has 6 or 8 equipments and then like very mid elsewhere.
Agreed.
Whenever a card's like a creature that enters and draws a card, I'm always like, okay, this is the best card ever. And then as soon as it's like, oh, I just played a 2/2 creature on turn 4, it didn't do anything crazy, let's reevaluate.
Yeah, that weapons thing, like you said, if you have a lot of expensive living equipments, because those things are powerful and hard and expensive to move around, sure, you'll probably play a copy or 2. But I don't actually think it's a very good card. I'm not like even my red white decks, like I said, maybe I'll play a copy or 2, but I'm not excited about it.
Yeah, Sabotender is the biggest like disappointment card for me. I thought that card was going to be so solid. I was like, man, I played on turn 2 and I like pinged them for 3 over the course of the game and hit them once. It does 5 damage.
You might want the adventurers in here. This is a close pick. Like, obviously, if we end up splashing red, we're going to much rather have the red-black land. But if we end up with good mana with enough sources, I usually play 1 copy of adventurers in these decks, because usually you end up with some ways to search for towns, and then sometimes you want the life. You're a ramp deck.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I had never played adventurers in.
I play it because I have ways to search. If you have ways to search for it, then you want to search it out.
Yeah. Okay, pack 2. So how would you say pack 1 went? Do you think our deck is looking pretty solid right now? Do you feel like if you were drafting this at the Pro Tour, would you be like, okay, I'm in a good spot, or would you feel a little bit worried?
Yeah, I mean, our deck's pretty good. I mean, like you said, Torgal's great. I think Farseek's pretty good. Jill's great. Cloud of Darkness is great. We need to flesh it out a little bit. I mean, we have other playables, the Chocobo kicks. So I think, like, green is clearly open, and our deck is, probably a little above average. Torgal and Jill are pretty good. Cloud of Darkness, that's 3 nice first pick quality cards.
Yeah. Do you like taking another Jill here?
Yeah, I don't care that's a legend. I mean, if they don't kill it, I'm flipping it.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny. The fact that it can make itself unblockable is something that I think I missed one of the first times I read it. You just like flip it, and then you have it unblockable 4/5 for a turn. It's like, okay. And whatever else gets unblockable. I like Sephiroth's intervention a lot too. Sleep Magic is like really great for 1 mana, but seems like we're off to a good start here. And now there is side quest Hunt the Mark I really like. There's Shinra, Fight On. What do you want to take here?
Yeah, I really like side quest Hunt the Mark also. I mean, a single treasure matters a lot when you're a ramp deck, right? If we cast like a 7-drop off of that treasure on turn 6, that's a big deal. Also, I mean, we don't really have a choice here, right? Like, the other black cards are solid filler, and the Rook turret's pretty unplayable. So, like, I actually thought we'd probably lean more blue-green if we could, because the Cloud of Darkness is a good splash. It's single black, and the Jills are double blue. But we're not going to take Rock Turret, and there's no green cards in this pack. So we don't really have a choice. It's just side quest for us.
It's funny. Summon Primal Garuda is one of those cards where I'm always like, wow, my white decks are so aggressive. I don't know how often their creatures are going to be tapped. And then whenever my opponent plays it, they just absolutely like dominate me in a race. And I'm like, oh, that's what that card does. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I've had the same experience against that card for sure.
I feel like I don't even know if I've ever played that card. It's just every time that my opponents play it, it's crushing me. Here there is X Death, which I think is probably the slam dunk pick. I can't imagine taking another card out of this pack.
Yep, same situation.
Yeah.
There's moderate filler playables at best with like Chocobo Racetrack and Scout, and then there's one very good card for us, X Death.
Yeah, and Vincent's Limit Break is the most confusing wording of a card maybe ever. I think I was not the only one who read this and thought my creature came back with revised power and toughness. It's like, oh gosh, imagine that caused a lot of confusion. It's like when it dies, it comes back, has the chosen power and toughness. It's like, okay, I can see why they phrased it like that in retrospect, but at the time I was like, okay, that's a confusing wording. Okay, now there's Vayne. Yeah, I think it's really bad. I think that card is pretty bad as well because a lot of the big creatures are these token creatures that are attached to like the equipments, and so like it just doesn't really work as intended with those because it like leaves them with 2 toughness.
Also, like that's just not that efficient of a rate. Like they already blocked your creature, so they don't take damage. So you're spending like 3 mana to kill their creature, like after they blocked yours, if they blocked with it. Like it's just like not. I'm not like there are worse cards. Like I'm not saying if you put it in your deck, it's a mulligan, but like it's not a good card. I don't want to play it. You know.
Yeah. Where are you at on Fire Magic? I know that some players like were really high on it going into the Pro Tour.
Well, if you're blue-red spells, like a lot, you're like kind of a late gamey deck, and like a lot of times you just don't have that many creatures out and have cards in hand, and it can be quite good. Or if you're red-green, maybe similar, although red-green is supposed to be a bird stack. So I think like it has solid homes in like red-blue, which is one of maybe the best red archetype, I think. I wouldn't really want to play it ever in red-white or in like maybe red-black. Those are like decks with a lot of small creatures, I think.
Yeah, I think in one of the featured drafts, I think it was like a pack one, pick one, and that's why I was curious to ask your thoughts. Here, there's Deadly Dispute and Demon Wall, and then Fight On.
I like Demon Wall if you're black-green ramp. Like you ramp, and then in the late, it's a good blocker early, and you're the deck with the powerful late game. And then the late game, it's a great attacker.
Yeah,
it's a nice
I like it.
drop.
Yeah. It's nice too because you can like keep using it. You can just activate it over and over and over, which is kind of funny. Here, there's Sephiroth's Intervention, I think, pretty easily.
Yeah. Final Days is good in black-green. Obviously, it's a self-mill deck. Like, you would play it. But, I mean, we just need the removal to ramp to big green creatures. And, like, we'll try and pick up some self-mill synergy, but we actually just don't have very much of that.
Yeah, the funny thing about Sephiroth's Intervention is when I read it and then realized it was, like, bacon to a pie, which is the same thing but gives you a food and is harder to cast. So you gain, like, 1 less life overall, but, like, you don't have to spend the mana on it. Oh, my gosh. What is happening? Nice. How do we get a pick 7?
Obviously I realized Intervention is good if you're like a ramp deck or whatever because the life is good for you and all of that. But I didn't think of it that way until you just said it. And like that actually is a great comparison because Bacon to a Pie was like an excellent removal spell. And Intervention is like Bacon to a Pie, except you don't have to pay the mana.
Yeah, exactly.
So and you don't have to draw double black. That is a very good like way to think about it, Nikolai.
Thank you. It was funny because when I first read it, okay, there's nothing really for us here. I think we'll just take this guy, I guess. But yeah. It was funny because when I first read the card, I was like, oh, it's just a kill spell, but it costs 4. And then I was like, but wait a second. Because it's almost like they made the card simpler and that made it seem worse in some ways. It's like,
if you're an aggro deck, that's like a solid kill spell. But if you're like a ramp deck, 2 life matters. Like, they're trying to like sneak in 20 before you cast your 7 drop. Like the 2 life really matters.
Yeah,
both these cards are cards I would play in a deck like this. I'd probably take the poo-poo just because I think it's really hard to get good 2s. And I think that card's a little bit of a sleeper. Again, it's an 0/4, so an 0/4 flying is a good blocker. Now, if you're an aggro deck at all, then that's not a good card. Like, it doesn't attack effectively, right? You can't pay 3. But if you're a ramp deck, a defensive deck that's just looking to win on power in the late game, a 2-mana 0/4 flyer is a good early game blocker for 2 mana, and then you get to ramp once or twice with it. So I like that card quite a bit, as long as your deck is extremely late game oriented and not aggro at all.
Yeah, I agree. Or if you just have infinite towns, which is usually a late game deck anyway. I had a deck that had was making this like a 7 powered attacker in the late game. And it's like, okay. It's also
I
it
mean,
plays really
I'm
well
happy
with
if it's a
draw.
2/4 in the late game. It's just I got a good 2-drop. You know, the hardest thing for ramp decks traditionally, right, for control decks, is to spend their mana on turn 2 and not fall behind, but have that card still be productive in the late game, right? Because for 2,
Yeah.
you just get little aggressive creatures. So if you can put 1 extra land and play with that, or 2 extra lands and play with that, and an 0/4 blocker that turns into a 2/4 in the late game, that's a very effective 2-drop for a defensive deck.
Yeah, it's also funny because like if you have like the Travel the Overworld card, which is like a draw 4 spell or whatever, you just like have extra lands to put into play with this sort of card. It's
Sure. Yeah.
pretty useful in that way. Okay, so after Pack 2, I think Pack 2 was incredible for us. So I think our deck got significantly better between Pack 1 and Pack 2. Um, so we got like 2 Sephiroth's interventions, the UFO, side quest. We got so much removal. We got another Jill. So I think our deck really came together in that pack. Though this pack seems a little bit weaker. What are you liking here?
Oh, I think Yuna's busted, but I don't know if we can play it or not. I mean, we could light splash one planes. We have a black white town, I think. I don't know
Yeah.
if we have that many creatures that go to the enchantments that go to the yard, but if we mill ourselves, we can put them in the yard. I don't think like Ultima is very exciting. I mean, you're gonna play it in a deck like ours, but I mean, otherwise there's like the 2-mana 2/1 Heck dies, like, you know, because I mean it seems like we're pretty committed to green black. We got a bunch of black cards. So
Yeah.
I think, like, you know, if blue and white are going to be light splashes, I think that's a pretty clear choice. I don't think it's like, Yuna's the kind of card that can be busted, but you have to get sagas, and we don't really have many of them. But we're going to have to prioritize them. And then also, if we get self mill and just mill stuff like our side quest or whatever, then we can get it back, and that's kind of awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this is probably an easy regalia. I mean, this card is. I don't know if I've ever beaten this. I think I maybe beat this card one time. It's just like every time it gets played against me, it decimates me, though. Maybe that's just me.
I mean, yeah, it's going to be good for us. I mean, it's tricky, right? Because it's like vehicles, you have to tap blockers, so they're much better out of aggro decks, but this one ramps, so it's much better out of a deck like ours that can use the mana. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be busted in our deck, but yeah, you know, I'm going to play it, and like, what is it competing with? Like a blue-green duel or whatever. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now I think Town Greeter, Capital City are the two that jump out to me.
Yeah, definitely Town Greeter for me. I'm not trying to add one to the casting us of my spells that much. Like,
Mhm.
don't get me wrong. Yeah, I'm going to play Capital City if I'm like a 2-color blue-green deck or with a very light splash or whatever. But like, you know, we might need that for black and have to pay 1 extra for our card on turn 4 or 5. We, you know, like, I don't really want to play that in my 4-color green deck.
Yeah, Town Greeter has just been excellent. It also fills our graveyard for any Unis synergies if we do splash white. And
Oh yeah, I'm with you. I love Town Greeter. Town Greeter is just so efficient. Like your ramp deck, you get 2 life, a 1/1 body, and the land you wanted anyway, and it fills your graveyard for Yuna, like, and for all the green black cards like X Death and whatever.
yeah,
That is just an excellent Magic card.
speaking of X Death, we see another one here. There's also Summon Anima, Geisal Greens, but I think X Death is probably a pretty clear pick.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I would like to pick up a Summon Anima. I mean, it fits our deck well. We're ramp, we're control, we have a
We have
Yuna.
Yuna.
But like, we can't take it over X Death, right?
Yeah.
We just have to hope we can maybe table it, which might happen. Not that many decks want it.
Yeah, our deck has so much life gain in it, which is pretty nice. Like, I feel like our best matchup is just like any deck that's trying to like attack us, because then we just gain like 3 from this, 2 from this. Like, I don't know, we just gain like 5 extra life over the course of the game, and then just win that way. Okay, now there's Bard's Bow, Treno. Treno seems like a solid pickup here.
Yeah, I mean, easy blue black duel. I mean, that's like our on color. We've got the 2 Jills, so we want to be able to get to double blue in the late game. I think that's a pretty easy blue black duel.
I like it. It's funny. The Garnet is another like this. There's like this weird like kind of like saga theme with like just Yuna and Garnet are like the only cards that care about them. But like in green white, there is a little bit of synergy there.
Yeah, that's what green white's supposed to do. And while you're right that it's not the most focused synergy deck, like it doesn't have all these commons like blue red that work for forecasting us or more, you don't need it. Like if you just have like 2 of that green white gold uncommon that we just passed, and then you play the good creature sagas and a bunch of creatures and pump, like that's a very solid green white deck.
This pack is insane, right? Like we've got Cloud and Coliseum Behemoth and Dragoon's Wyvern and like even green white dual. This is like a really nutty pack. Like what is happening? Our deck is so open. Oh my god!
We would take this whole pack because you know we have Yuna. Like I don't know if we might not splash Yuna if we don't get sagas. Like Yuna's very good, but like we just don't actually have enchantments.
What is happening? Saz's Chocobo pick 7.
We found the open lane, Nikolai. We did what we were supposed to.
Exactly. This is sometimes it feels like this isn't what happens when I draft by myself. I guess this is what having the Hall of Famer on board does. Is you just get 7th pick Saz's Chocobos. This is great. Oh my gosh.
That's the real secret,
That is
it's just the endless run goods.
yeah, exactly. It's the classic arena whitelist, like anytime you bring on the right guest. There's Garuda, there's Blitzball.
Yeah, I don't know. We have a decent amount of legends. I'd probably play a Blitzball in the stack. We can hit them with a Cloud of Darkness in the air or an X-Death and then get our 2 cards.
Yeah, potentially a nice way to like fix our mana for a double splash if we want. Reno's been. I don't think I've ever seen anyone cast a single card off of Reno and Rude, which is kind of funny.
No, that card's not good. Are you doing best of 3 or best of 1?
This is best of 1.
Okay, well, because there's the side, Nature's Claim and the Crash. If I'm going to main it, I'm probably going to take the Crash. But if it's best of 3, then the Claim is a much better sideboard in, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not going to main deck the Crash either way though, so we'll just take the Nature's Claim.
Yeah, the Crash is mediocre, but I mean, you're not going to main the Claim, I don't think. So like that's why I was like, maybe if you needed a playable, you'd main the Crash. Mm-hmm. I agree with you though. It's mediocre. You're not like trying to main either.
Do you like Resentful Revelation?
Yeah, I'll play one copy of it as long as I have some synergy.
Yeah, we've got a lot of good graveyard synergies, some good stuff to go dig for. But yeah, I think this deck really came together nicely overall.
I think it came together nicely, except I don't think we can actually use Yuna, which is disappointing because I think Yuna's pretty busted if you have a couple sagas, but we just like have one black side quest that doesn't go to the graveyard unless we mill it.
Yeah, I think it's fine though because our lands don't really support it that well either. And we actually can that'll help us get like maybe one extra island in to be able to flip the Jills more.
Yeah, good point. Our blue splash is for a card that's potentially double blue, which is fine, but that means every island counts. You're right.
Yeah, so we've got this is kind of our base like deck. The cards I don't really like playing Lunatic Pandora, so I just want to get that.
Yeah, you can get that out of there
off the bat. World Map is a card that I don't always play in these decks, even though it is fixing.
Yeah, but not a card we need. We have Town Greeter, we have blue-black, green-black duels, Farseek, Blitzball. Like, we don't need it.
Yeah, exactly. And then we have 4 more cuts to make, and like, it's like which ones? It's like these are the cards that immediately kind of jump out to me. I don't want to play Blitzball Shot. That's an easy cut.
Yeah, that just snuck in there. That was never in consideration.
It snuck in there, the Blitzball Shot. So like these are the 3 cards that are my ideas of what to cut is the Cornered, the Blitzball, and the Gigantoad. But I'd be interested if you have different thoughts. Or we could cut UFO because we only have 2 towns.
I do a similar method. I drag over all the cuttables. I might consider a few more cards than that. Like I would consider one Chocobo Kick potentially cuttable. Like our creatures don't all fight that well in the early game. We have plenty of removal.
Yeah. That's a good
Resentful Revelation. It's a good card. I'm probably going to play it because the flashback and more late game deck. But I could also consider cutting it. Because like we don't self mill that well or anything. Like we have one Town Greeter, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Similarly, fight on. Again, I'm not saying I want to cut all these cards. These are all cards that would make my like maybe I would cut them. Yeah. Now the cards that are left, I'm never cutting. Right, like the cards that are down here. These are cards that are going to go in my deck. So I'm just a little more aggressive with what I would consider. Yeah. So that's 18. So that means we're looking to play about 5 of the ones that we put in the cuttable list. So now I'm more interested in kind of like curve and synergy than I am like which card is slightly better. So I'm going to go back and look at my stuff, and it's like, do I have enough 2-drops?
We have 4 2-drops that we want to play on turn 2 and a 1-drop we want to play on turn 1. Vane's Treachery can kind of go either way.
So about enough, but we'd definitely like to make sure we get at least like 1 more of those, I would say. Actually, I will say on power level, Cornered by Black Mages, like I was saying, that's an excellent card if you're a black-red aggro or a black-white sack. That's not a card a black-green deck wants to play. We don't want to make them sack their worst creature and then get an 0-1 that we can like chump block with.
Yeah, that's what I was going to move. Yeah, that's what I was going to. That's why I moved it over there. I agree. I found that I had a deck that had 5 copies of the Black Mage's Rod and 3 copies of Cornered by Black Mages, and was just like all in on the pinging. And that was like, okay, this is where this deck card shines. And whenever I played in these sorts of decks, I'm a little bit underwhelmed. So I agree.
Like if you're black-red, you prioritize things that ping. You're an aggro deck, and like that card is excellent. If you're black-white, you try and do some sack synergies, and you kind of like have flyers and ping them out, and that card's good. If you're like a black-green late-game ramp deck, like that's not a good card,
Yeah, exactly. You're not spending turn 3 doing that. We want to play X-Death or Shinra on that turn.
Plus, like, we want our cards to be permanents. We have double Cloud of Darkness, double X-Death. So anything that's, like, not a permanent is already kind of, like, negative synergy. I mean, obviously, if it's, like, Resentful Revelation, then that's putting permanents in our graveyard, so that's positive synergy with X-Death and Cloud, and we probably actually want it for those reasons explicitly. But if it's, like, a random spell that's, like, a mediocre removal spell, like, I'm kind of low on that if I have double X-Death, double Cloud of Darkness, right?
Yeah, exactly. So with that in mind, I think cutting a chocobo kick makes sense. We don't
Yeah,
have as
yeah. I think one chocobo kick's enough. Like it's situational removal. We have double intervention, side quest, treachery. Like we have plenty
double
of better
cloud.
removal.
Yeah, we
Double
have plenty of
cloud.
kill
I don't think
spells.
we need that. Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
don't
then we
think we
have
need
one
that
more
card.
cut to make. I think let's check our creature count. We have 14 creatures in the deck right now. Um, so if we cut up too many of the creatures, then the fight on gets worse. But we do have some self mill. We have some good creatures to get back. Getting back Cloud of Darkness always feels amazing. UFO might be necessary just to have a 5th 2-drop creature against aggro decks. Or if we were playing best of 3, it would be a good sideboard card for those matchups. I find it hard to imagine cutting the Resentful Revelation, given how much synergy we have with the graveyard and being able to dig for stuff.
I agree with you. Yeah, Revelation's looking like our best card in that stack because of what you said, all the synergy. I think, yeah. I mean, I like the UFO. I'm not sure. I mean, we don't have ways to search for towns really. I mean, we have the Regalia, but so we only have 2. But again, it is a good ramper. You play it on turn 2. You put a land or 2 in play, and so like it's a good blocker. Town Greeter helps us to find one of our towns. Revelation can. I think it's close. Gigantoad. I feel like we almost certainly want Blitzball. We have a lot of legendary creatures, so
Yeah.
that's going to give us our second blue for Jill. We can hit them with an X Death or a Cloud of Darkness in the air and then sack it for 2 cards. I feel like we almost definitely want that.
Yeah.
Um. So how many proactive 2s do we have? Like Farseek is a proactive 2-mana card.
We have
That's in
1,
our
2, 3, 4, 5. Or if we count Resentful Revelation, then Vane's Treachery can be played on turn 2.
Yeah, because like this is tricky, right? Because like it's not about how much casting cost the card has; it's about spending our mana productively on turn 2, right?
Yeah.
So like Chocobo Kick is basically not a 2-mana card.
Yeah.
Like we're never gonna play that card productively on turn 2.
Yeah.
But like something like Farseek is, right? If that card's in your opening hand, you get to ramp on turn 2 and spend your mana very productively.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, so we're at like 5 to 6. I mean, Revelation's more of a late game card, but if we don't have anything else to do, we can put it in our yard and smooth a little bit. I kind of think we don't need the UFO in this deck. We got Torgal and we've got Farseek, and we also kind of want lands for Chocobo, and I kind of want the Blitzball because we have the 2 flying legends and like 5-6 legends. Kind of, yeah. I think it's close, and I actually really like UFO, so this pains me, but I kind of think that's the last cut here. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's either the UFO or the Gigantoad. I think Phyton actually looks really good in this deck now that we have Resentful Revelation, Town Greeter, and Shinra to all self-mill us a little bit. I think that's just like being able to get back a Cloud of Darkness in the late game. It feels really, really strong, especially because we have a lot of ramp, so we can like get to the late game. X Death, getting that back in the late game is really strong. I feel like we have some good stuff, and I think Gigantoad. Just looking at our curve, we have like 4 big creatures or whatever, so having another big creature is kind of helpful. I think 13 creatures is a little low. But
this might be going too far, but maybe we just cut the other Chocobo Kick. Like we do have pretty good removal, and like we are a permanence matter deck, right? Like if we get 6 permanents in the yard for X Death or however many we have for Cloud of Darkness, like because you got to think, right? It's not just when you draw the card. Every time we mill a UFO with either the reinforcements or the Town Greeter, that's a lot better for us than every time we mill a Chocobo Kick, right?
Yeah, and we already have 6 removal spells that are better than Chocobo Kicks, and we don't really want to bounce our lands to our hand. So I could see that being totally fine. Like I've been Chocobo Kick is really hard to use in the slower your deck is. I feel like because there's so many instant speed removal spells like that you have to contend with. So. And like,
I think I like that because I mean,
yeah.
I like Chocobo Kick just fine, but like you said, our early creatures don't win fights well. We definitely aren't trying to pick up a land in our ramp deck with all these good 5s and 7s and recursion and stuff. And I just want every card that I can. Obviously, like we're never cutting intervention, right? Like you're not going to play all permanents, right?
Yeah.
But like if it's a mediocre spell for our deck and it's not a permanent, I'm kind of interested in cutting that because I mean, if we have 6 permanents and get to flip X Death, that's a win. If we have 4 permanents and we get to Cloud of Darkness, they're 4/4 versus if we only have 3 and we come up short, that could change a loss into a win. So when you're milling 3 cards here, 4 cards there, like it's a pretty big deal if you happen to mill 1 extra permanent versus 1 extra sorcery or instant.
Yeah, that checks out. I kind of like that as well. Also, like if this even gets a single power, it can like crew the Regalia, which is relevant and stuff like that. So.
We could consider playing the land that gains 2 for it. I mean, I think that I probably wouldn't play that either, just because we don't have ways to search for a town. Like if you have like the 4-mana search for 2 lands, that's when you usually go get that and gain your 2 life.
Yeah.
And I know we're a 3-color deck, and I know we need all of our blue because of Jill. Like obviously, if Jill wasn't double blue, we have way more than enough sources. We have Blitzball, Torgal, 2 islands. You know,
Farseek.
like Farseek. Like this is like a million sources for like a light splash single blue, but you want those extra sources because you want to flip it. That's the reason you have to cut the colorless land, I think.
Yeah.
You know, it's not 100% clear that like we couldn't cut like maybe 1 swamp or 1 island. I don't know.
Yeah. I just feel like having 2 islands to search up is good when Farseek represents one of our blue sources. But
No,
yeah.
you're right. I mean, like I said, I'm probably being too greedy because like if Jill wasn't double blue to flip, then yeah, we just cut an island.
Oh
no
yeah,
problem.
we would. Yeah.
But like because of the value of flipping it, that's probably more important than the colorless town. I think it's right to cut it. I just kind of want to sneak it in for the UFO. Again, the life matters, right? Like, are we gonna lose on turn 10 with this deck?
Yeah. We could also play like a tap land that doesn't even help our colors if we wanted to help the UFO, but that seems a little bit dicey as well.
Yeah, I think this is the right build. It's like we said, the UFO's in there as a defensive card. It's in the late game, cool. It'll be a 1/4 or 2/4, but that's in there to block and ramp. It's not in there to attack in particular.
Yeah. Well, now that we've got this deck, I'm going to be playing the games by myself, but thanks so much to Ben for coming on as a guest. It was great having you. If folks want to find more of your stuff, I know that you tweet about Magic sometimes. Are you making any other stuff these days, or are you just people just cheer for you at the Pro Tours and stuff?
I haven't been making a lot of content lately, but if they do want to check out my stuff, all my videos are posted on my YouTube channel, which is BenS_MTG on YouTube. There's tons and tons of draft videos, so especially if there's like any flashback formats or old formats, you're going to play like Mystery or anything like that with your friends, you might want to check them out. Other than that, yeah, you can. I've been lucky since the restart. I've been doing pretty well in the Pro Tour, staying qualified. Hard to stay qualified these days. Like a lot of, I'm fortunate I have the Hall of Fame invite, so that really helps, of course. And yeah, I tweet about Magic. Also, BenS_MTG. Other than that, for these days, I would definitely recommend. I mean, I would always recommend this, but I'm just not particularly making a lot of content to check out this great content creator called NicolaiBolas. If you want limited draft videos. But hopefully someday I'll be like in a situation where I can start making them again regularly. Definitely a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on as a guest, and we will be battling. And as I always like to say, if the deck wins, it's all credit to you. If it loses, clearly pilot error. So I'll see you folks in the games.
Can't argue with that.
Before I get to the games, I want to give a huge shout out to all of the people who support my channel at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. If you have been enjoying my videos, if you've been finding them helpful, if you've been finding them entertaining, if you like it when I bring special guests on, then Patreon is the way to give back, support the channel, and help me do more cool things like that in the future while gaining access to cool bonus content like my card by card tier list and my format thoughts document. I want to give a special shout out to those patrons who support at the credits level. It makes a huge difference. And without further ado, let's get to the games. Hello and welcome to round 1. Our hand is a little dicey because we don't have black mana, but I think we can keep it because we have Farseek, Torgal, Blitzball as extra draws in addition to Swamp, and we have two spells we can play, including turn 1 Saz's Chocobo, so we'll keep this. I will say, it's really awesome having Ben come on as a guest. I've had him on as a guest many times, and that's the sort of insight that you can't just find anywhere. You have one of the best drafters of all time helping us out there and sharing his thoughts, and he is truly one of the greats, so it's fantastic to have him on as a guest. Okay, here we go. Town Greeter, give me that sweet, sweet Swamp. Beautiful. Got there. And the Cloud of Darkness getting a little bigger, definitely a factor. Like if we'd milled a UFO there, it'd be pretty nice. Okay. Here, I think we just play land and then jam the Gigantode. And the reason for that is that next turn, if we don't hit a land, we can go Resentful Revelation, find a land, play Jill. Oh my gosh, this is disgusting. Oh my gosh. So we're gonna do that line anyway. We didn't even find the land. So now we mill the UFO, which is perfect. Sure, let's take the Regalia. Cloud of Darkness is absolutely broken. This is... Anytime you get to bounce or retrieve the Esper token, you just feel like you've won. The turn 1 Saz's Chocobo. Getting that pick 7 is kind of absurd. Our deck, I'm not even kidding. This is one of the best decks I've drafted in the entire format, which is not something you say often when you are at a stage where people have figured out what the good cards are. I'm realizing taking Blitzball would let us flip the Jill. But yeah, they concede. There's nothing they can do there. That was total domination. That was total dominance. I'll see you folks next round. Welcome to another round. Easy keep. We wish we were on the play, so our Regalia would be a little scarier for them, but this is still fine. We'll lead with the Treno because that way we can play Jill on curve potentially. Demon Wall, sure. Bard's Bow, okay. No blocks. This is a little bit dicey. They look like they're holding up Sephiroth's Intervention, so I'm just going to play around that. They could also have nothing. This lets our guy get in for some damage. And we have another creature now to crew this thing up next turn. Oh, prime time. All of a sudden, killing their Death Toucher seems like a waste. I don't think they have a kill spell, or they would have killed Regalia probably, or my Demon Wall. So they don't want to use their prime time to kill my guy. This game was definitely winnable. Even if this wasn't a prime time, if it was just like another creature, like we could have just saved our removal spell for it. This is the sort of play. I think if Ben had been here, he probably would have counseled us against that play. Oh, we are super dead. Never mind, we're back in business. Tifa's limit break, pretty good. They have 10 mana in play. I don't think they have a kill spell. Poor Torgal. Ochu, sure. Okay. Somehow we're still in this one. No! My poor demon wall. If only this wasn't legendary. Curses. Yeah, that's game. Yep. Okay. I was too aggressive with my removal spell, trying to get the Regalia hitting in, and it cost me, because the land didn't really matter there. I should have just held back, played defensive, not killed the Finn. And then I could have killed the Prime Time, and then I could have killed their 7/7. So I think that was a pilot error. As I said, if the deck wins, it's usually because the deck is really good, and if it loses, I just made a tactical blunder there. See you next round. Welcome to another round. On the play, we'll keep this. We have plenty of good draws here. Farseek would be a great draw. Torgal would be a great draw. Lands would be great draws. We have enough good quality draws in the deck that I think it's worth it. If they hadn't had Coliseum Behemoth, we were actually going to make a comeback in that game, which is kind of wild, but that's how it goes. So they're only mono green, and we hit our 4th land, so we get to go off to the races. If they have Artifact Kill, that's mildly unfortunate. No! Oh, that got me good. Oh, the Chocobo. I can't cast a single spell. Not where you want to be. So now I need to draw another land. Or I guess I have plenty of spells I can cast. This is definitely going to be a disappointing finish if I don't win a bunch of games with this deck, because it is a good deck. The last game was one I wish I could have won. Okay, I need to draw a forest to kill that thing, maybe. Okay, this is going to be a start. Okay, take this guy. Give me a forest. Okay, I can't cast anything anyway, so I might as well get the tap land to gain 2 life. It can be very relevant. Now these things are going to kill whatever I need. Town Greeter. Luckily, relatively small creature. The 2 life here makes a huge difference. And this thing can kill their Dark Knight's Greatsword. And my graveyard is full. There's a Jill in there. Even though I don't have blue mana yet. Creatures in graveyard is 1, 2, 3 right now. Kill a token. They have 1, 2, 3 creatures. So if they make 3 more tokens. Cecil, sure. I would normally play the Behemoth there, but I just want to kill the Cecil here. I don't want to take a bunch of damage. Okay, no blocks now. You're going to flash back the final days this turn. Gosh. So how many islands do I have left? I have not found a single island. So I get Town Greeter so I can block their Town Greeter. Or chump block whatever's big. And then do I have to rely on milling island and then... No, I already have Jill in hand. So I'll just get Demon Wall. So I think this has to find me island. So I think I'm dead. Block, 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 die. Oh, pain. Maybe I was supposed to play Colosseum Behemoth to take out the Dark Knight's Greatsword so they couldn't flashback for quite so many guys. Okay, yep, we're dead. Okay. Oh, man. Losing game 2 when I think it was very winnable is tough here. But we're 1-2, but the deck is great, so we can rattle off some wins. See you there. Welcome to another round. We can keep this. Torgal doing some major work here. I will say, the first loss we had, I think if I had just been more patient, Finn would have traded off with Regalia, and then I would have been able to get some stuff going. I'm just going to Vayne's Treachery the Giot now. Maybe that's cowardly. Maybe I'm supposed to just play Torgal. Especially because it would have made Jill a 3-3. I don't really want to leave him extra rummaging, but could have been incorrect. Yeah, they had Thunder Magic to kill Torgal, so. I was tempted to just kill Magitech Infantry there. Jeez Louise, come on, man. They have 3 of them? They discard a Magitech Infantry is crazy to me. Now I will play Torgal, because that means I can play Colosseum Behemoth next turn. They could have another kill spell, though. Weapons vendor, sure. Kill Giot again. I have my 3/3 blocker. Yeah, I'll kill that with my Colosseum Behemoth. I don't want to lose to a single white Auracite or something on the Colosseum Behemoth, so I'll keep my blocker back. Next turn I'll be able to have Torkoal up. The 3 damage might not matter that much. Okay. They discard the plane, so they don't have white Auracite in hand. Because I already have a kill spell, I think this is okay. I don't know. I'm holding up Sephiroth's Intervention anyway. I'm finding it hard to imagine I lose this game if I just kill their guys. One, two, three. If I somehow lose this game, then I don't know what possible. I don't know what cards they could have. I'm thinking like +2/+0 and a Chroma's Will or something like. Boom, we got a win. Whew, our deck is really good, but I feel nervous playing it for some reason. See you next round. Welcome to another round. We've got a great hand. Farseek on turn 2. Or Demon Wall on turn 2. But Farseek on turn 2 is usually good, especially because these two guys aren't really attacking at all. So we'll need double blue eventually. We already have double green, which is what we need for this. We would need double black for our side quest. But I think we'll be able to get there. It's more likely we draw a swamp over the course of the game. Playing X-Death makes sense. We can start attacking with it. Katana, okay. It's going to have Menace too, which is annoying. Send in with the X-Death. Katana, we can now double block with Demon Wall plus UFO. Remember, this is legendary, so we have to be careful. If this was red-white, I might not have attacked, but blue-red has some good card advantage, so we might have to get good use out of our cards here. Suplex, okay. Give me Jill. This is looking a little dicey, but we have plenty of card advantage to draw. We have the backup X Death, so we're okay with this. Retrieve the Esper, sure. Don't like our chances of this game. We've just not drawn action, really. Like, we've got some stats in play, but Emperor is really strong, and... yeah, Dreams of Laguna is the exact card we don't want to see here. Anyway, I think we could have won the second round, so I don't think that... and I do think this deck is one of the best decks. Sometimes you just lose games when you have a good deck. It's how it goes sometimes. But we're not out of this yet. We have good top decks. Top decking Jill would go a long way. Like, we Jill, then we can flip Jill. Really? Well, if their last card is a bounce spell, then that's no great for us. Not great for us, but... otherwise, we're okay with double blocking here. And if they have an ice magic, then... then they have an ice magic. Gosh darn it. That's the worst case scenario. I mean, that does make sense. But I'm not going to play around it, really. We can use the UFO to put the land into play at instant speed. Huzzah. We need to find, like, Bitter Revelation into Jill, I think, is our best draw sequence here. Yeah, we're super dead here. We are super dead. This is just like a classic flood out situation where we didn't draw our spells. We've drawn 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is a spell because it searched for a land. A little trickery here. I'm going to kill the creature, I think. Force him to spend mana to re-equip, potentially. I could have drawn a card, but I think killing the creature makes the most sense. Jeez Louise, we're so dead. We're so dead! They definitely had a good thing this game. Oh yeah, we're super dead. We really tried, though. We fought hard. Sometimes you just lose no matter what you do, though. Ironically, UFO, if it had been a kill spell, I don't think it would have made a huge difference here. Yep, we are dead. So we went 2 and 3. We could have gone 3 and 2, I think, if I had just saved my removal spell that one game. Because I think we would have been able to stabilize and win. But the deck is still really, really strong, so don't let that discourage you. I mean, as you saw in that last game, I mean, honestly, the games we lost, it was pretty clear why we lost for a couple of those. We just drew like all lands or just didn't draw the spells we needed. This deck was really, really strong. I think if we played this deck like over and over and over, it would end up with a pretty good result almost every time. And yeah, you just can't afford to mess up games like I did. I mean, it wasn't a punt because it wasn't like I made an onboard blunder, but using Sephiroth's intervention on their Fang just so I could get more hits in with Regalia was a little bit dicey as a potential misplay, but it could have also worked out really well. Like we could have gotten multiple hits in with Regalia. They could have not had like a 6 mana play or whatever, or we could have drawn our kill spell sooner, but I think probably was a mistake. Anyway, the deck was awesome. Having Ben on as a guest was fantastic. It was great to get his thoughts and hear his opinions and see how he drafts and stuff like that. So that was really cool. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you made it all the way to the end, in the comment section down below, leave hashtag Stark to let me know you made it all the way to the end, because it's really great to have Ben Stark as a guest. That's going to do it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you next time.